We are there. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Welcome to this Google Hangout. I'm John McNamara and I'm here today with Leif Davidsen. Hello buddy.
Hello John. Hello everyone.
So we're going to talk about different flavours of MQ messaging and which one is right for you. Before we start though, I'd encourage you to ask any questions on Twitter on the hashtag IBM Messaging. And Leif, probably worthwhile saying who you are and what you do.
Probably a good idea. I'm Leif Davidsen. I work here in the Hersey lab where we develop all sorts of great IBM software. I'm the product manager for the IBM Messaging and MQ portfolio.
Fantastic. I'm John McNamara, one of the senior mentors in the lab, and I've worked in messaging as a consultant for oodles of time. So the first question, Leif, is when we say lots of flavors of messaging, IBM messaging, MQ messaging, what do we kind of mean by that?
Okay, so I guess that's the MQ portfolio. It's MQ, simple name for what has been a fairly broad topic that you and I have discussed on these Hangouts before. What is the value of messaging? What does it provide? How do you actually use it? It's a way of connecting applications together, moving data reliably, simply, securely. And the flavors of messaging, it's really, if you've established that actually MQ is the right sort of product for you, it's, well, how is the best way that you want to consume it? Frankly, we've gone past the days of, Henry Ford saying you can have the color car any color you want as long as it's black. People want to consume MQ in different ways, and that's really what I think we want to talk to our viewers today about, is what's the right way in which you want to consume MQ, and therefore how do we make it easier for you to consume it in the way that you want to.
Fair enough. Right, so I'm kind of familiar with base MQ, and I've played with that for a while, but what are the types of MQ out there that will be of interest to people?
So over the last few years, we've been actually adding extensions. Obviously, we keep enhancing MQ itself. So base MQ does lots of things for you. But over the years, we've said, oh, actually, we could extend it in this way as an additional option. So it's not necessary for everybody, but it's the right thing to do. So we added these extensions. And then about 3 years ago, we decided, rather than differentiating them and making it maybe confusing, given that they were still effectively MQ capabilities, we packaged them all together and we made them available as what we call an integrated offering as MQ Advanced. So It's like, okay, here's the package, and instead of saying, do I want this or this, it's this menu option. So you can have everything, you just buy MQ Advanced. So that's one flavor of MQ is, well, I like MQ so much, I actually see the value in these extensions. Managed file transfer is one, advanced message security for end-to-end encryption is another. So, and finally telemetry for connecting mobile devices and sensors. So if you want all of those things, we offer them all as an integrated offering. So you can make your choice between MQ, right, or you can make your choice between MQ Advanced.
I understand, and I guess that's the traditional software that you would install locally. Do you have a provision for, say, cloud software for MQ?
Yeah, I mean, cloud means different things to different people. We talk about both private cloud, which tends to be virtualized environments of different sorts within the enterprise. And there is also public cloud, which is maybe what people tend to think of when they think about cloud. So that's the cloud, which is somebody else's infrastructure that you're connecting to and running your infrastructure on. That might be SoftLayer, it might be Azure, it might be Amazon Web Services, that sort of thing. So when you ask, is MQ available on cloud, it's really, certainly the questions I get, my colleagues get is, oh, we're looking to run in a virtualized environment, either on-premise or off-premise. Does MQ run in that? And the answer is yes. We actually have the ability for you to run on SoftLayer, on Amazon, or on Azure. You can select MQ. Many of our customers who typically will deploy on-premise instead, they are looking to deploy on virtualized environments,
Right.
Whether that's VMware or other virtualized environments, or simply they have tried to implement a very flexible infrastructure deployment in-house, which is a lot of our customers are very familiar with how to bring up and manage MQ environments. And so you can deploy MQ in any of those ways, and we have certain ways in which that's easier. As I said, from a public cloud environment, we have pricing to support that. If you go to Azure, you can actually pick an Azure image with MQ pre-deployed in it. And then from an MQ point of view, you use also Pure Systems. So this is our packaged both hardware and software of an entire stack of infrastructure capability, including WAS and DB2. And also we have a pattern for deployment of MQ Advanced, as we just mentioned, for deployment on Pure. So if you are interested in the integrated value beyond just MQ, if you say, actually, I want an integrated IBM stack, which is available with Pure, you can add MQ Advanced to that stack as a deployable pattern. So you just go, boom, I want to deploy that.
And you get AMS.
And, you get all of the value of the MQ Advanced offering in that pattern.
Oh, fantastic. So you've got software you traditionally install. You've also got the cloud offering, which is on-premise, off-premise, private and public cloud.
There's also containers, of course, Docker.
Oh God, yes, yes. Tell us.
So it's really high up on that hype scale, the Gartner hype cycle, but there's a lot of interest in it, and so to try and tease out exactly what capabilities we want, I think there's a tech preview of MQ Advanced for developers, in fact, on Docker, to say, let us know exactly how you'd want to use that. I mean, MQ Advanced Developers is another aspect of MQ. That's we've talked about sort of deploying MQ as flavors, but of course, an important aspect of MQ is getting the applications developed that make use of MQ.
Right. Okay.
And we actually have a flavor of MQ called MQ Advanced for developers. So, hey, there we are. We've just talked to you about MQ Advanced, but there's a lot of capabilities in MQ Advanced. How do I make sure that my developers are making good use of that?
Understood. So let's say, for example, I'm a developer. I've written my app. I want messaging. I don't need moment and enterprise level scale of messaging. I want to really support my application just for stuff that I need. I don't need a load of access to APIs. What flavor is right for me in that scenario?
So obviously, we talked about MQ. We talked about some of the capabilities in our past sessions of security and availability and scalability and all of that things. But as you say, there is certainly a class of developers, a class of applications that really they just want to make use of messaging to really bring value to their programs, to act as a buffer, to act as a way of communicating very simply. And we've actually simplified the MQ API to make it more suitable for those developers and those application programs. We call that API MQ Lite.
Right.
It is available as a development tool. It's got actually a really nice front end for it. And in beta at the moment is the way to take those MQ Lite applications that those sorts of developers would write and actually deploy them within one of those MQ deployments that we've already talked about. So from an operational standpoint, your developers can gain all of their benefits, but your operations team don't need to worry about multiplying their infrastructure entities that they have to manage. So simplify everything on your MQ deployment, but make sure that the development environment is simplified for the right application developers.
Fantastic. So we've spoken about MQ as software. We've spoken about the integrated MQ offering with AMS and MFT and MQ Advanced. We've mentioned it on the cloud. If I wanted a more sort of plug and play experience with an appliance, What have we got in that area?
Well, you and I have talked about the MQ appliance, John.
I knew it sounded familiar.
How terrible for you to forget. No, MQ appliance is MQ in a box. I think the phrase we used last time was no mess, just messaging.
That's right. That was yours, wasn't it?
That was mine. Yes. Sorry about that. So it's just another deployment option for MQ. It's the same capabilities, but we've talked about, okay, I know MQ, I want MQ, I can deploy it as software, I can deploy it as an integrated stack, whether that's on-premise, in a virtual machine, in a pure system, or off-premise in a public cloud. I can deliver it for developers, or I can say, actually, my deployment option of choice would be plugging in appliances, switch on and go, ease of deployment, ease of maintenance, fast deployment, and secure and reliable. So the appliance, it's just, okay, that's the flavor I want, boom, we can sell you an appliance.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you can have your messaging any way you want, Leif.
Any way you want, just pick the option from the menu. There's no secret menus, no animal style here.
Well, heaven forbid. That's good news. Good news for us all. That's fantastic. In that case, shall we take a look on Twitter and see what
see if anything has come up?
Okay, let's have a wee look. Do a quick refresh.
And I'm sure this was the first time that messaging has been compared to a burger chain.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So here we go. All right. Where can I find out details on the MQ appliance?
Well, there's actually quite a lot of stuff on the MQ appliance. We only introduced it this year, but we've created a few things. There's short videos, there's data sheets, and in fact, one of the recent additions, there was an external analyst, Stratus, has written a paper on the business value of the MQ appliance. So in other words, if you think that the appliance might be the right solution, it's showing you where you can look to see whether it would actually make the right business sense. Because this is all, it's all for business purposes.
For sure, of course.
It needs to make business sense. And there are a number of key areas that we can identify to say, go and look at these areas and see whether it makes good sense for you.
Fantastic. Okie dokie. So next one. All right. Are all of the MQ flavors the same price? Leif.
Well, yes and no.
Thank you very much.
Broadly, the idea is you can buy your MQ entitlement and then you can choose, as far as you like, how to deploy it. So if we have what we call our license entitlement, is broadly done with PBUs, which is an IBM pricing metric on the capacity of the machine.
Right.
But we don't say, okay, you're buying it on Windows, that's one price, we're buying it on Linux. So we have a general price, and so you buy your MQ entitlement, you can deploy it effectively where you want on a similar size of machine. For MQ Advanced, it's the same, it's a higher price, but you're getting more capabilities. And one of the nice things of MQ Advanced license is not only do you get all those capabilities, and there's tremendous benefits around things like the MQ telemetry, which gives you unlimited,
sure,
but also the MQ Advanced gives you the ability to deploy your pattern on Pure. So if you're a Pure customer, I'm looking at Pure systems, the MQ Advanced one is really the one to get, because you can deploy the pattern then within that entitlement.
Right.
And obviously the appliance you buy, the number of appliances you want. But we've done all sorts of things to try and simplify and in fact lower the cost of the licenses over the last few years. Removing some of the cost inhibitors to say, well, instead of charging you for little things, let's get rid of those costs. I want customers to use MQ more, so I want to simplify and lower the price to encourage the use and let them grow, let the business grow that way.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, in that case, Leif, thank you so very much for
hosting me again.
That's all right. And thank you very much for questions and for joining too. I'll put all the links that Leif refers to in the notes in the video that goes into YouTube. Speak again soon. Thank you very much for joining. Bye.
Bye.